Good morning. It is 9:44 a.m. on Friday, May 4th, 2018. May the 4th be with you. Um, I am recording this. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm recording this much later than usual on a normal workday, partly just because some of the work that I have to do today can't start until later this evening. So I'm kind of shifting my whole work schedule today, much further back. So I won't go in till this afternoon because I'll be needing to work, late into the evening. So that's where I'm at this morning. Um, yep. So just hanging out tonight. Gosh, I've got work on the brain at the moment, but it's stuff that I don't necessarily want to get into here. So I'm just kind of trying to clear that away and say, like, what else should I talk about? Well, I ended up having to work a little bit late yesterday too, so all sorts of things just kind of got, you know, plugged into various uh, alternate slots. That doesn't make any sense to you guys. Um, my normal routine has been disrupted, I guess, is the gist of it, and so I'm a little bit off balance, I think. I made a really good Blue Apron dinner last night. It was kind of spicy shrimp with linguine, and I feared when tasting the sauce that I'd put too much salt in it, which is a real bummer. When you over salt something, it's just one of those frustrating things where it's like you can't take it back. You can't undo it. There's just very little that you can do. Sometimes you can try adding more water and try to cook it down again, but it's just never the same. Fortunately, once it was over the pasta, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't like a dramatic mistake, but it was just an example of, generally speaking, I don't put a lot of salt in stuff. Um, but this particular, I was using one of these, like this fancy salt that I got as a gift one year, and it has just sort of different varieties of, like, like they're all intended for human consumption and all, but they just have slightly different flavors and appearances and stuff like that. And I used one of the ones that I hadn't used all that much of, and I think I underestimated how much I was adding because the appearance was different. But anyway, it actually ended up tasting okay. But it just got me thinking about how, you know the banal frustrations of cooking, just these very ordinary, ephemeral sorts of mistakes, but that interfere with things that our body treats as important. Like, obviously, eating in the broad sense is important, right? But what you eat for one meal, usually not so important. But it's just one of those things where, like other things that our body needs, our brain's method of making sure that over time we do the things that are important for our body's function, like eating, breathing, getting enough sleep, for example. Um, our brain does that by making it feel good, right? So, like, when people say, "Oh, I love sleeping," it's like, well, that's your body's trick to make you do it. Because otherwise, who would ever, like, I don't know. Maybe that's my own personal thing, is that I definitely, if I could press a button and only need 2 hours of sleep a night or something like that, I would do it in a heartbeat because I would love to have that extra time. But I do hear from people who have said, "Oh, but I love sleep. I would never want to do that," and at the first thought of it, that makes me think, like, well, but if you only needed 2 hours, you could get the part that you like in 2 hours and still have all that other time, I guess. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I suppose I shouldn't judge that sort of thing, but definitely I can feel physical enjoyment from, drowsing in bed on a lazy morning. But yeah, I definitely would love if I didn't need so much sleep. Anyway, I'm going to work on some stuff today, and I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.